Once upon a time, in a small village in Kenya, there lived two twin sisters named Kenya and Makena. They were born on the same day and looked almost identical, with beautiful brown eyes and curly hair. Everyone in the village loved them when they were little, and they were known for their joyful laughter and playful spirit. As the years went by, something sad happened. Makena fell very sick. She had a terrible sickness that made her very weak and unable to play like she used to. Her sickness scared the people in the village because they didn't know what it was or how to cure it. The villagers began to avoid Makena, thinking her sickness might spread to them. Kenya, however, loved her sister very much and took care of her every day. She brought Makena food, kept her warm, and told her stories to make her smile. Kenya's heart was full of love and courage, but the villagers couldn't see past Makena's illness. When the twins grew older, it was time for the young women in the village to get married. Many young men came to see Kenya because she was kind and beautiful. However, as soon as they found out about Makena's sickness, they changed their minds. They were afraid that the sickness might come to their own families, and they didn't want to be near it. One day, a young man named Juma came to the village. He was a traveler and had heard about the beauty of the twin sisters. Juma was different from the others. He was brave and kind-hearted. He approached Kenya and asked her to tell him about herself and her sister. Kenya told Juma about Makena's sickness and how the villagers rejected them because of it. Juma listened carefully, and instead of feeling scared, he felt sorry for the twins. He admired Kenya's bravery and her love for her sister. Juma decided to stay in the village for a while. He spent time with Kenya and Makena, helping them with chores and bringing them herbs from the forest that might help Makena feel better. Slowly, he began to win their trust. The villagers watched Juma with curiosity. They saw how he wasn't afraid of Makena and how he treated both sisters with kindness and respect. Some began to wonder if they had been wrong to reject the twins. One evening, Juma sat with Kenya and Makena by the river. The setting sun painted the sky with beautiful colors. Kenya, Juma said, I have seen your love for your sister, and it has touched my heart. I believe there is hope for Makena. We must not give up. Kenya's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of hope. For the first time in a long while, she felt that things might change for the better. Juma's kindness had brought a spark of light into their lives. Just then, they heard a rustling in the bushes. It was an old woman from the village named Amani. She was known for her wisdom and knowledge of ancient remedies. I have been watching you, Amani said. I see the goodness in your hearts. Perhaps together we can find a way to help Makena. Juma, Kenya, and Makena listened carefully as Amani spoke. She told them about a rare herb that grew deep in the forest beyond the river. This herb, she said, was known for its powerful healing properties. However, it was difficult to find and even harder to retrieve because it grew on steep, rocky cliffs. We must go on a journey to find this herb, Amani said. It will be dangerous, but with courage and determination, we can do it. Kenya looked at Makena, who gave her a weak smile. We will go, Kenya said. We must try for Makena's sake. The next morning, Amani, Juma, Kenya, and Makena set off on their journey. The villagers watched them leave, some with hope and others with doubt. They walked for hours through thick forests, crossed streams, and climbed hills. Along the way, Amani taught them about the plants and animals they encountered, sharing her wisdom with the group. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the path became more difficult. The cliffs were steep and covered in loose rocks. Kenya and Juma took turns helping Makena, making sure she was safe and comfortable. Despite her weakness, Makena insisted on walking as much as she could. One evening, they set up camp near a sparkling waterfall. As they sat around the campfire, Juma shared stories from his travels, and Amani told tales of the village's history. Kenya and Makena listened, feeling a sense of belonging and hope. The next day, they reached the cliffs where the rare herb grew. Amani pointed to the small green plant clinging to the rocks high above them. There it is, she said. But it will be difficult to reach. Juma volunteered to climb the cliff. He was strong and agile, and he carefully made his way up the rocky surface. Kenya and Makena watched nervously from below, their hearts pounding. Amani whispered words of encouragement, urging Juma to be careful. Finally, Juma reached the herb. He carefully picked it, making sure not to damage the precious leaves. As he made his way back down, a loose rock gave way, and he slipped. For a moment, everyone held their breath, but Juma caught himself just in time and continued his descent. When Juma reached the ground, everyone cheered. He handed the herb to Amani, who began to prepare a healing potion. She mixed the herb with other ingredients she had gathered along the way and brewed it over the campfire. Makena, Amani said, "Drink this. It may not cure you completely, but it will help you get stronger." Makena took the potion and drank it. It tasted bitter, but she felt a warmth spread through her body. That night, for the first time in a long while, Makena slept peacefully. The next morning, Makena felt a little stronger. She was still weak, but there was a new light in her eyes. The group began their journey back to the village, hopeful and grateful for their adventure. When they returned, the villagers were amazed to see Makena looking healthier. They gathered around to hear the story of their journey and the rare herb. Slowly, the villagers began to realize that they had been wrong to reject Kenya and Makena. From that day on, things started to change. The villagers offered their help and support to Makena and Kenya. They no longer saw Makena's sickness as something to fear but as something they could face together as a community. As for Juma, he decided to stay in the village. He and Kenya grew closer, their friendship blossoming into something more. With Amani's wisdom, Juma's bravery, and the support of the village, Makena continued to grow stronger day by day. The story of Kenya, Makena, Juma, and their journey to find the rare herb became a tale of hope, courage, and the power of love and community.